Hi everyone, happy Saturday. I hope you're having a fabulous start to your day. I am here with an amazing inspirational lady called Sharon. Sharon has defied all odds and has reversed her journey to become insulin dependent. It's an absolute phenomenal story even, and there are so many other amazing byproducts because she found her leverage. So today we're going to be interviewing Sharon about how she's transformed her life. It really is an incredible journey that she's been on, and I'm so excited to share this with you. And as always, with these transformational success stories, what I'm looking for you to take from it is that anything is possible. You know, she is no different to me, is no different to you. It was just that she was able to get that key driver, that leverage to push her into the direction where she always wanted to go. So yeah, before we introduce you to Sharon, please subscribe and hit that bell icon, probably in that corner there. Hit that bell icon so you can get notified of all my videos, where I generally upload every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So hi Sharon, how are you?
I'm fine, hello, hope you're okay.
I'm good, thank you. I'm going to be drinking, I don't know whether you finished your coffee. I'm going to be drinking my coffee throughout. Let's keep it nice and casual. Yeah, look, thanks so much for your time. I know that you're extremely busy with work, and we've just squeezed this in for our viewers. So I guess what I'd like to do is just start by asking you, the first main question. So I know from what you shared with me already that you started your transformation journey in November 2019. What actually made you do it? What was that driver basically just what made you do it?
Well, basically, I'm diabetic type 2, and after speaking to my doctor at the time, my diabetes was basically out of control, and I was told that I was, even with the medication I was on, it wasn't enough, and there was the potential that I was going to go on insulin, which was the trigger for me to actually reevaluate my life and everything.
Wow.
So that's basically what made me do it.
Okay. And had you had any experience of other people in your life that had been on insulin before, and to understand what it can actually do to the body? Which
Yeah, my mum's actually type 2 diabetic, sorry, and currently she's going through treatment because her kidneys are not working very well, and there's a strong possibility she'll have to go on dialysis. So seeing what my mum went through, I thought I can't go. You know, I'm obviously a lot younger, but I just didn't want to be in that same position that when at my mum's age.
Yeah. No.
So yeah,
No, sorry, go ahead.
I should say, so yeah, so that was one of the biggest motivations, as well as me doing it for me, but I just didn't want to be having the potential of dialysis in later life.
I guess that is, for anyone, it's a big enough driver. If you know the effects of the insulin and what that can kind of lead to, being able to have the opportunity or the option, shall we say, to say, actually, you know what, no, this isn't happening to me, mate. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. So yeah, so that's amazing. Thank you. So just tell us a little bit about your, I guess, your struggle with the kindness that you had about yourself and your body, and do you actually know why you had such an unkind relationship with your body? So just tell our kind of audience a little bit more about that.
Well, I've always been on the large side, and I have always hated myself. I can tell you when it was specifically when a comment was made about my weight years and years and years ago, and that's always played on my mind. But I just genuinely hated myself for my size, and and it's hard to explain, but there was just nothing for me inside that I was going to do to change that. And it became, when I became diabetic type 2 and being put on the insulin, that's when I realised I needed to change not just my attitude towards my diabetes, but also my attitude towards myself and my body. And that's what I've been doing, and that's where I am now.
And just to share a little bit more of the amazing success and the byproducts. So everyone, again, as you know, that as the pennies drop, it isn't about weight loss. It's not about the aesthetics. It's about that feeling inside, that kindness and love, that healthier way and more positive way of living. And when you get that, you get amazing byproducts and transformations throughout your life. So Sharon, can you just share one of the amazing byproducts to our watchers?
Well, as you said, since November last year, I have been dealing with my weight and also the effect it has been having on my diabetes. And as of today, I am just shy of losing 6 stone. And I am so chuffed with that.
Oh, would you like a woohoo dance? I love it.
My weight loss journey is going to continue, because in my case with my diabetes, the weight loss will help the diabetes ultimately help me individually, but also my medical condition as well.
Oh, this is absolutely incredible. And you can actually feel that, like, you know, you get a smile I can see, and that feeling of success and fulfillment. And like you say, it's not just about the weight loss. I mean, that's going to be a massive byproduct to stop you from needing the insulin, having more energy, etc. But it's how you feel about yourself. The fact that you've decided to be kinder to your body. I think it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So absolutely, I love that. So see guys, anything is possible when you have enough leverage and you've got enough drive to keep moving forwards. And I just wanted to say as well, you know, I completely, and I'm sure there are other people out there, completely resonate with you when it comes to having somebody saying something unkind about your weight when you're younger. And I had such a horrible comment said about me, and I was a little chubby little girl, and I loved my food, and it literally transformed the trajectory of my life, until today. Well, until the last kind of few years, really. I was able to kind of get back more on track, but yeah, so completely resonate, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do as well. So now we know exactly what the insulin, so we know what the key driver was. We don't want the insulin in our body. And what do you think were the limiting beliefs that were really holding you back and keeping you prisoner in your life to stop you from moving forwards? Because I know you had to even sell your car, and just explain about that.
My limiting belief with me was confidence. I never had the confidence to do anything, and with regards to the car, I had a MX-5, which is a sporty little number convertible, and I loved that car. But as my weight spiraled out of control and I got bigger, and it got to a stage where, in being honest, I didn't feel comfortable in the car. I felt really large, and at sometimes I just felt so uncomfortable and felt stupid and self-conscious being in a car that was really small, and I felt so big. And at some point, my body was too big for that car. So in the end, I thought the easiest way, it was easy for me to get rid of the MX and actually address the underlying issue, i.e. my weight. Yeah. And unfortunately, I bought myself another car, a bigger car, which that should have been a trigger in itself, but it just at the time wasn't.
Because you had an option.
Yeah,
you had that kind of get out clause. Okay, so this isn't working for me now. Let's get something else that does. Whereas the doctor telling you that you were going to be insulin dependent, there's no option. That's
there's no option. You're absolutely right. Sorry.
Yeah. So you know that was it. It was either that or kind of you've got to change. You've got to do that whole transformational kind of get that belief. Sorry, you were going to say?
I was going to say the difference between me saying I reacted because what my doctor said was because insulin, it would be a physical injection, whereas putting on weight or losing weight, yes, to me, it was a visual thing, but it didn't have the same impact of losing the weight or putting the weight on than taking an injection every day. And also, it's when I was that big, it was easy enough for me to hide rather than go out. Whereas with an insulin, it may have had a detrimental effect on me being able to drive or, you know, in life in general, rather than just being overweight. So that was a key indicator for me.
Thank you. And I know it must have been really hard to get rid of your beautiful little sports car. I know you've shared the story of how much you loved it. So yeah, so that key driver, that leverage is getting that, and you only know when you've got it. And that's the thing,
Yeah.
you only know when you've got it, whether you're looking at the future and you're thinking, oh my God, I don't want my life like this anymore, or whatever it is, you have to kind of find that for yourself. And once you've got that, that's where kind of coaches can come in. So you know exactly where you want to be, but you don't quite know how you're going to get there. And for me, having a coach was absolutely imperative to be able to get me to where I am today, because I knew where I wanted to go, but I didn't know why I couldn't get there myself. And by releasing these old limiting beliefs, I'm kind of, I'm there. And I'm sure there'll be other limiting beliefs that kind of come up, and I'll have to work through that. But now I have the tools, so, which is great. So before we go on to kind of the support that you've had, so would you absolutely say then that in all areas, if you look at all areas of your life, that these limiting beliefs really held you back? So yeah, basically. And how did that make you feel about you?
I hated myself. There's no other way to put it. I absolutely hated myself. If I could get out of anything, it's hard to, unless you're actually there, it's quite difficult. But I hated myself. That's the only thing I can say to you. And it's a compelling feeling, and it paralyzes you from doing anything, from motivating you, anything. It just strips you bare. And
So sorry, like what things did it stop you from doing?
For argument's sake, I have a very active social life, and I see quite a lot of my friends, and quite a few of my friends say, let's all get together, and I'll go, yeah, let's get together, and I'll arrange a date, but either the day before or even the day of the event, and I will cancel it because my confidence would, I just couldn't be bothered, not because I didn't want to be around be around those friends, people. It was the fact that it was how I was feeling. It didn't matter if I got dressed up, put makeup on, I still felt rubbish. I still thought I looked massive. And it didn't matter when people were saying you look brilliant. It's how I felt from within. And that is a pretty powerful thing. My mind over my matter. And I never realised until I started this new journey the impact I had on my friends as well. From my point of view, it was just me cancelling an appointment. But the impact I had on my friends, and what upset me more than anything was that some of my friends thought I didn't actually like them. I didn't want to be around them. And it was like, this is nothing to do with you guys. It's me. But because I never shared that with people, no one knew.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm now seeing.
Well, look,
the consequences. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, because again, very similar. I would be the one that would cancel at the last minute because I didn't feel great about myself. I didn't, and for me, it was really all mindset, and I'd really want to go out and see people, but then it'd be like, and it's not like it was an excuse. I just couldn't do it. It's like I was trapped in my own head. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like I was trapped in my head.
Exactly how I feel, and how I felt. Sorry, I don't feel that now, but that's how I felt.
People that haven't had that experience, or people that are experiencing that, just know that you're not alone. You really are not alone. And it took, like I said, it took me having a coach to get myself through that. And and it was quite a long journey for me, because things were so much embedded, I guess a bit like yourself. But you've been able to, because you've got that awareness of, and you're now open to talking to people about how you were feeling, because you don't feel like that now. Just go back to kind of the support that you've got. So I've mentioned the coaching and the support that I've had to kind of get me to where I am today, and I always know that I've got those coaches available for me as and when I need them. But I do have the tools and practical toolkits and tools and processes, etc. now that I can revert to kick that negative voice in in the backside when it decides to show up. So yeah, just explain what support did you get to help you?
Well, like I say, since November, I embarked on for me personally, it was a weight loss journey, and I am still part of a support group, and I have like-minded people who are going through very similar issues with diabetes type 2, and you know, we talk, and it's amazing to be in that group, that, and you open up about how you're feeling, and you then realize, as you've just said, I'm not the only person who feels like this, who looks like this, who were doing the self same things as avoidant tactics like me. And it's great to talk to people, and like I say, I've had the support since November, and it's continued, whether we meet up on a weekly or monthly basis, or just random texts to the group. So that support is always there. So when I'm having what I call a flat day, or a wobble, a little bit of a wobble, I have that support there, and it continued support, and it really makes a difference.
I love that, because again, my coaching experience have been kind of, you have that one session, and someone's opened up your mind, and you're just left basically until you book the next session. And I was literally just like, it was like I was just pinging out money left, right and center, because I couldn't be left on, well, it's not that I couldn't be left on my own, but I needed that extra support. I needed that hand holding. I needed somebody every day to tell me that it was okay, I was going to be okay. I needed that. And that's why I've created that as part of my core offering, because you will never be left on your own. Those checkpoints that come with the as the pennies drop are because I know how important it is when you're opening somebody's mind, or when you're going through a change, and letting go is painful. You've been a particular way for nearly your whole life, and suddenly you're being told to let go and to create some new habitual habits, let go of these limiting beliefs, and create new limitless ones. And it's scary. And then you have that time where you feel like you're just going to beat yourself up because you've reverted back. And it's, that whole thing. And to have somebody there, like you say, with your community support group, is absolutely imperative to keep you going through those good and bad days.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you've just said. And it's nice, though, to be around people who are like-minded, who you can help. And it's amazing, that the feeling I get when I can actually help someone, and I'm the one that I thought I had all the issues. And it's refreshing. But like I say, I think honesty is the best policy, and just by expressing how you feel, in my case, into the group, people were like, well, actually, I can resonate with that, Sharon. And yes, we were the same, and it's great. And it's given me several coping mechanisms, because obviously, with regards to being overweight, it was the food that I have the issue with, and have the feelings associated with food, and it's still ongoing. But yes, I love my support group, and I hope it does continue for a long, long time.
That's amazing. And the more you kind of carry through this journey, and again, I'm proof, and you're proof, 6 stone lighter in, and I know you're not stopping there. I know you've got kind of a process, which we'll talk about later, on how you're setting your goals, so it's not too overwhelming for you, and also those limiting beliefs, or the feelings about food, will become less and less and less, and and it will become more natural to have these limitless beliefs become more and more and more. And again, the more you do it, the more natural it feels, the easier it becomes. And yeah, so that's great. So you mentioned in the support group that you have that, they've been fantastic for you when you've had kind of your wobbles. And so I was just going to ask you, have you had many negative days, and what stops you from reverting back?
Yes, I do have negative days, because obviously previously I didn't care, so I would just eat anything and everything. But now, obviously, losing weight, and I can't just say to people, I'm going to stop losing, I'm going to stop eating, because one day you'll stop eating, but then a couple of days later you'll just go into complete free fall and start eating again. So it has to be done correctly, and this is what the group's about. They're there to support me with my eating, and when I have a bad day, I just think to myself, if you carry, there's two elements to a bad day. The first one is the positive reinforcement. Okay, why are you having a bad day? Don't You know, don't let it overrule your life and revert back. But if I do have a bad day, in the sense of I eat, say, I'm just going to say chocolate, stop feeling guilty. I don't feel guilty. Whereas previously I'd be like, oh, well, do you know what? I've eaten chocolate today. My diet's gone out the door. Tomorrow's another day. No, what I do is I go, okay, I've had a piece of chocolate today. I'm going to enjoy that chocolate. Tomorrow I'll refocus. And that's what I do. And that's the tools in place I have now.
And that's amazing, because I know that you always had this your ego, your negative voice was keeping you kind of in that comfortable, safe environment. And it was like, oh, you know what, Sharon, tomorrow's another day, and you know, we'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow never came until you got that driver from the doctor. That was then you were like, you know what, boom, this is it, I'm not going to revert back. And even through the wobbles, and you know what you've shown is the awareness. You're so aware of what your old limiting beliefs were and how they were keeping you that prisoner in your life. And you know, you're able to go, right, okay, so this has happened, that's okay, I'm, you know, straight back on it. And that's the same with kind of with anyone. And what I want to share, again, this is something that's really important to me when it comes to coaching, is being honest. You're going to get negative days. You're going to have days where you feel like crap, because you're opening up your mind, you're letting go, you're doing something completely different. The key is not to beat yourself up about it. Don't beat yourself up about it, because the reason why you're feeling negative, or you've reverted back to your old ways, is, and basically it's showing you that you're aware. Your awareness is number one. So you're now aware of what you're doing to yourself. So eventually, through your journey, through your community support journey, through coaching, these limitless beliefs, these new habitual patterns will start to take over, and you'll see bit by bit by bit by bit that improving. So the less negative days you'll have, and the more, like I said, the more natural it will be. So yeah, never beat yourself up. It just kind of puts you into a massive spiral of like, yeah.
Vicious circle. Very, very bad vicious circle.
Exactly. So this is like my favorite question ever. I love asking this question when I'm interviewing people. How do you feel about yourself now? 6 stone lighter, not on insulin. I know your levels have dropped so incredibly, to the point where potentially you may become non-diabetic, potentially in a year's time. I mean, this is phenomenal. So how do you feel about yourself now?
Well, as you probably gathered through the interview, previously I never liked myself. And I can honestly tell you now, I still don't like myself. I actually love myself now. I
love it.
I just feel so much different. My mindset is completely different about how I feel now. This is it, WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get. For me, and I am always, and I have been, and I always will be self-critical. I still know, for me, I want to lose more weight, but right now, this is it. I feel really great. I walk out, when I go out, my head is held high. I don't care if people stare at me now, whereas previously I'd just always look at the floor when I go out. I wouldn't want to make eye contact with anybody.
And your confidence, sorry, I've got
your confidence. My confidence.
What is it there when you go out now?
My confidence is so much better now, and people want to go out for a drink with me. I go out for a drink. I don't even think about, oh no, I just get up, get dressed, and put a bit of slap on, and away I go. I don't even have to sort of like think, what excuse can I use to cancel, and it's nice. It's nice to go out. It's actually nice to go out.
And you wear shorts now.
I was just about to say, and I didn't know whether to say it actually, because I didn't want to. I never wear shorts, only around the house, and if I go on holiday, say to another country, a foreign country, where no one's going to know me. However, recently in Sainsbury's, I've been walking around in my little shorts, and I just don't care anymore, because that's how I feel about myself. And when you feel that good, it radiates out, and nothing, no one or nothing, even if someone said something to me, it wouldn't deflect it. I just deflect it away from me, because it's how I feel about myself. And as I say, I actually love myself.
Love it. I feel like I want to do a kind of a high five to you. I know.
It's a really important feeling, Natalie. And once you've got to that stage, your armor. You've got like an armor around you.
Exactly.
And that's how I feel.
There's an amazing saying, a quote actually from Wayne Dyer. I don't know whether you know about Wayne Dyer. He's was an amazing motivational speaker. And he says, I matter more than the good opinion of others. So what I think about myself matters more than what anybody else thinks. And when we allow what other people to think about us to matter more, we're literally just going, come on and take my power. Just take my power.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with that.
I allowed that like so much. It's crazy to think that I allowed that. Never again. And you're the same. I love it.
I agree with you absolutely with what you've just said. And once unless you're in this position, once you start feeling like I do now, you've got that power back, and no one, and God forbid anyone trying to take it off me again.
Exactly. No, I love it. So we talked earlier about your the goals. So we don't do massive goals because that can be overwhelming. So what, just share what's your next goal, whether it's, you know, in any area of your life, whether it's about weight or anything. What's your next goal?
My next goal now is just continue the good work I'm doing. But one thing I will say, because we've said previously, I lost 6 stone. So obviously you could tell I was pretty overweight. So initially it was just to reduce my weight, which has gone better than I anticipated. So now, as you say, I think sometimes people get told, well, you're overweight, you need to lose an X amount of stone. That X amount of stone is like me at the foot of Mount Everest, and Mount Everest being like that. So what I do, instead of going thinking from A to B from the bottom to the top, I do it bit by bit, so bite-sized chunks. So for me now, my next goal is another stone, and then if I can hit that stone, another stone, say within the next 4 to 8 weeks. If I can do that, then I will reevaluate my situation then and see how I feel. But I will say, in my case, Natalie, it's costing me an arm and a leg and new clothes. So you know what, my husband might make it slow down a little bit, but it's bite-sized chunks.
And it's losing weight and shopping in any shop you want to shopping.
That's, oh my God, I don't have to
go. How does that feel? How does that feel, being able to go into any shop now? How does that feel? Come on.
Do you know what? It's brilliant, because I you know, I'm just going to use this as an example. I went shopping the other night into Sainsbury's, and I just happened to go around trying to get an earring for my ear. And I just looked at their clothes and I'm like, oh my God, because the clothes range, they go from their size, from small to large. I'm looking at the large size thinking, I don't need that. I'm smaller than that. And I was actually going 3 to 4 sizes in to get to my size. So I'm not the biggest one. I can go into any shop, and it's so empowering. It's just so empowering. And that's another positive reinforcement.
Exactly. And you did that. All your hard work did that. So that's amazing. So we're going to talk about movement now. Now, I know, again, we've shared some background about your history of exercise. How does movement now play a part in your physiology and kind of everyday life? And maybe share with everybody watching, what did you think about exercise and what you think about exercise now?
Previously, it was like, oh God, exercising weirdos who used to get dressed up in lycra and either get on a bike or just go out running. Sorry. Anyway, I know, that's why I said sorry. But no, honestly, previous to November, I would be sat there, and I'm being completely honest, my exercise would be open up a packet of biscuits and doing this. That would be my exercise. The thought of me going out, walking, even walking would get me all hot and bothered, and I really was lethargic. However, I knew, as part of the whole change of me, it wasn't just about losing weight, because I knew the amount of weight I've lost, there would be side effects like, you know, obviously untoned and excess skin. So I now, brace yourself for this, Natalie, I do actually go out, and at 8 o'clock in the evening, I'm sort of looking at my poor dog, who's already been out twice for a walk with me that day, looking at me like he's dead, going, we're going out for another one. So I'm actually walking quite a bit now. Usually I would do 2,000 steps a day, which is nothing, honestly. Now I'm pushing in excess of 14,000 steps a day, plus doing a bit on my wee machine, my wee machine as I call it. So I'm more active.
And
And
how does that movement create better focus for you? Because we all know that, like, going out in the fresh air, you know, your the oxygen levels rise in the brain, so it's kind of, you get that ping, you know, in the brain, and you've got that amazing focus, and you know, to kind of take on the day. So how does that make you feel? How, if you look at the Sharon before who didn't exercise and started her day, how is the difference of having that exercise movement throughout the day kind of helping you?
I just feel more fresh. And that sounds pathetic, but I feel more fresh and alert because I
Yeah.
go out for a walk. And you're right, it is nice. And we've been really lucky. We've had really nice weather, so I've been able to go further afield with the old poochie, and just being in the fresh air, and just, it's hard to explain, just being around nature, which sounds probably rather sad, but with the sun coming, you know, sun coming out, it just really improves my mood dramatically. And when I come back from a walk, I just feel really happy, and that I've never experienced that before, and it wants me to do it more and more, which I suppose is an indicator for me to go out for more walks. So yeah, I really do enjoy it, and I think it has had such a positive impact on me mentally, but physically, because I can feel myself toning up, which is what I wanted to do.
And your energy levels must be through the roof now. I mean, you're doing more steps than I do a day. This is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
amazing.
Like I say, within the last few years, because I had a major operation a few years ago, I did nothing. I honestly did nothing. I was lazy. Now I'm even contemplating going up a tree, trying to take some branches down. And I mean, I wouldn't have even done that
Do you even
previously.
recognize that person? Sorry.
No,
Do you even recognize that person before?
no, because, you know, I think my husband thinks it's a little bit of Stepford Wives are going on, that I've been replaced with a new, not maybe not so younger model, but literally I do the lawns. I do so much more in and around the house than I used to do. Years ago, my idea of getting a DIY done would probably get someone in to do it. Now, me and my husband have just, you know, completed the living room, and I'm out in the garden with, you know, every weekend trying to mow my lawns or trim my bushes and things like that. No. I had stuff in my shed that was still in the boxes that had never been used, and it's so nice to get them out and use them.
Excellent.
So yeah, I love
Amazing.
it.
So I've just got one more question for you. What other areas have transformed through your mindset transformation and through this journey that you've been on? What other areas in your life? So relationship, career, money, health.
All aspects of my life really, because I just don't have that negative outset anymore. So personally, I just feel really great. Professionally, I just think I enjoy my work more. I'm more confident in myself and the way I articulate myself at work. I'm not, you know, I've never been a shy and retiring type, but now I don't feel so negative. I feel more positive. And that is my outlook now every day, just to be more positive rather than worries me, you know. So positivity for me, really.
Brilliant. That's great. Oh, Sharon, this has been absolutely amazing. And what a lovely way to spend a Saturday, getting this inspiration from you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time. And yeah, so that's Sharon, you know, no longer needing insulin, 6 stone lighter, confidence oozing out of her, the happiness, the healthier, positive way of living. Absolutely incredible. And as I said in the beginning, this isn't something that is unobtainable, that it's just for special people that can have this. Anybody can find that leverage and, you know, get that support, whether it's through coaching or a community support group. It doesn't need to cost a lot of money, and, you know, you can get to where you want to get to. And, you know, I'm proof, Sharon's proof. If you saw my interview last week, Gemma, and there's going to be more and more success stories and inspirational interviews with people on YouTube. So yeah, just proof that, you know, it can happen, and it can happen to you too. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Have a fabulous rest of your day, and I will see you soon.